Hansel and Gretel. Once upon a time, their name was there was a boy called Hansel and a girl called Gretel. They lived with their father, who was poor woodcutter, and their cruel stepmother. Often they went to bed hungry. One night they heard their stepmother say, "We have only enough food for ourselves. Tomorrow we will have to take the children into the woods and leave them there." Hansel and Gretel cried and cried, but Hansel had a plan. "Don't worry," he said to Gretel. "Look after you." Once everyone was asleep, Hansel crept outside and filled his pocket with white pebbles. Then he went back to bed. The next day, their stepmother and father took them into the woods. Hansel stayed back, and as they walked along, he dropped the pebbles onto the path. When they were in the middle of the woods, their father made a big fire. Their stepmother told them that she and their father were going to go to the woods. She told the children they would come back for them later, but they did not come back. Gretel began to cry. Hansel said, "Don't worry, when the moon comes out, we will find our way home." At last the moon comes out, and the white pebbles shone brightly in the moonlight. Hansel and Gretel followed the trail of pebbles all the way back to home. When their father saw them, he was so pleased. Their stepmother, however, was not happy. That night, heard her say, "Tomorrow we'll take children deeper into the woods and leave them there." When everyone else was asleep, Hansel started downstairs to get some more pebbles. But this time the door was locked. He went back to bed empty-handed and very sad. The next day, their stepmother woke them up early. She gave them each pieces of bread, and then she took them into the woods. As they walked along, so dropped crumbs of bread onto the path behind them. Stand up, please. Stand up. As they reached the path part of the woods, where their stepmother told them, "Wait." She said she would come back for them later. Hansel and Gretel waited, but she did not come back. And Gretel shared her bread with Hansel, and soon it grew dark. Hansel said, "Don't worry, It comes out, we will follow the trail of breadcrumbs home. At last the moon came out, but Hansel and Gretel could not see the breadcrumbs. The hungry birds had eaten them all. Hansel and Gretel were lost in the woods and spent the night huddled together. The next day, when they awoke, they saw a white bird singing in a tree. It had such a lovely call that they followed it. The white bird led them to the strangest cottage. They couldn't believe their eyes. The cottage was made of gingerbread and sweet every kind. The children were so hungry that they broke off sweets to eat and failed to notice the old woman watching. The cottage door opened. The old woman came out. She invites them inside and gave them pancakes. She only pretending to be nice. Really, she was a wicked witch. The wicked witch locked Hansel in the cage, and she made Gretel scrub the floor. Every day, the wicked witch fed Hansel a huge meal. She was fattening him up to eat him. So Hansel played a trick on her. When she reached in the cage to feel how fat he was, he stuck out a chicken bone. The wicked witch had bad eyesight, so she thought it was his finger. She was disappointed that he was not getting any fatter. One day, Wicked Witch decided to eat Hansel anyway. If he was too fat, she told Gretel to get into the oven to check that it was hot enough. She was really planning to eat Gretel as well. Clever Gretel pretended she did not know how, though. So the Wicked Witch said she would show her. Gretel saw her change. She shoved the Wicked Witch inside the oven and quickly locked the door. Then she freed Hansel from the cage. Hansel and Gretel found some precious pearls at the Wicked Witch house. These are better than pebbles, said Hansel. We can take them back for father. So he put some in his pocket. They left the cottage, and at last they found the path home. Their father was overjoyed to see them again and told them that their stepmother had died while they were gone. Hansel gave him the pearls from the Wicked Witch's house. They were able to buy lots of food with the pearls, and they all lived happily ever after. True or false? Now that you have read the story, can you answer this true or false? Hansel and Gretel's father was a wizard. False. The Wicked Witch cottage was made of gold. False. At the end of the story, Hansel and Gretel found their way home. True. So Gretel brought house with the pearls they found in the closet. False. Hansel left trails of sweets to find the way home. False.